What you doing, Otaku? I'm DAC. I'm going to talk about the anime Japan Sings 2020. It came out on Netflix in early July 2020, and it's based off the novel by the same name, but in Japanese Nihon Chimbotsu by Sakio Komatsu. It came out in 1973, so this is a modern adaptation of that novel into an anime. Now, before I actually talk what happens in it and my thoughts on it, it's by Studio Sansaru. I bring this up mainly because the animation overall is fine. The character animation is weird, and I wasn't a huge fan of that for some reason. I don't know. But let's talk about some of the characters. If you do not know what this anime is, it's Japan is sinking. There's these earthquakes, and it's causing Japan to sink and flood. So there's this huge disaster, and it's about this family pretty much just trying to survive. There's a mom, dad, a son, daughter, and then there's a couple other people that come into their group. There's this some track star who's now a musician. They eventually meet some YouTuber who helps them out a lot. But one of the things I like is the mom is a Filipino from Cebu, and that is awesome. And she's like kind of the main role. The daughter is seems to be the main focus. Even though really they do a decent job at not having a main protagonist, but it pretty much focuses on the daughter. But yeah, the mom is awesome. I don't even remember. Mom's name is Mari, daughter's name is Ayumu, and son is Go. Don't remember the father's name for a reason. The YouTuber's name is Kai. The track musician is Haruki, and then there is they meet dude from England or who's English. I think his name is Daniel. And in the dub, his voice is so weird, and he's a comedian, so maybe it's supposed to sound goofy. Doesn't sound like any kind of English accent I've ever heard. Not British, not any kind of European I've ever heard, not American. I don't know what this accent is. It's weird. Anyways, so yeah, this movie, it kind of pulls a fast one on you. Of course, it's like a disaster, not movie, it's a show. This show is like a disaster movie, pretty much. 10 episodes of just disaster after disaster, earthquakes, flooding, Japan sinking, people not believing it at first, and of course they can't deny it later, and it's gets you because the beginning, the family's separated, they're all doing their own thing, one's at home, one's at work, one's on plane, one's at school doing other track stuff, and yet after this disaster, they're still able to find their way back together. And at this happened in the first episode right away. It was just like, I don't know, this is supposed to be like a disaster thing that's supposed to get you, and their family's already together. No, it stops there. This is the most chill, brutal show I've ever watched. It gets so brutal, but the tone of it is just so chill. Like, they're just going about their lives trying to survive. Besides earthquakes and some water, there's not really a whole lot of, brutality, like gory or violence. There's a little bit sprinkled throughout, but it's not like a consistent thing like you would expect from a movie like this. It's pretty chill. It's like, it's almost like a slice of life, but with a little disaster. It has that kind of tone to it. But it's brutal. Oh man, is it brutal. So, this is going to get very spoilery if you have not seen it yet. So, warning to you now, but I cannot talk about this without spoiling, because the stuff that happens, a lot of it caught me off guard and literally just had me yell out loud in surprise. So, let's just go through who dies. First off is the dad. Oh man, he dies like in the second episode. And he's the one who seems to have the most survival skills and all this kind of stuff. And it's just random. He's digging for yams. he saw signs that said no digging for yams. Apparently, all the other signs didn't matter because he doesn't read them, and he blows up. Just digging away, hits a mine or a bomb, blows up, and that's how it kicks off. Bits of him go flying everywhere. Oh man. I was like, oh, okay, well, at least something's gonna happen. This will just make the family have to bond more. It goes on when they're, I guess, a family friend or something that's with them. Nanami, the daughter and her go off to go take a pee. They give each other a little space. Nanami walks a little further away than Ayumu drops dead. Poison gas. Okay, you're just dead now. And then that's when Kite shows up and is like, stop, toxic gas, I'll take you safely. Ayumu throughout this whole thing is a bitch. The entire time. She's just so unnecessarily bitchy to Kite. I don't know why. Maybe she's kind of racist. There's this whole theme of Japanese nationalist kind of vibe going throughout, especially with older gen, which isn't an unusual thing to see. But for a half Filipino, half Japanese girl, the first white person that shows up, she kind of shits on. Her brother loves him, and like, yeah, I'm gonna shit on white people too, but she's just was a bitch right away. She was nice to everyone else. I don't know. Maybe it's just because he's white. Normally, I would think they deserve it, but Kite's a cool dude, and eventually, he's pretty much the hero. So, first 2 deaths, second and third episode, right away. Hey. And there's not as impactful deaths for a little bit. They eventually meet an old man at a store who tries shooting them, almost kills Go with an arrow, but then he joins the group. They go to this weird place after meeting Daniel, I think his name is Daniel. I'm just going to call him Daniel anyways. The English dude. And go to a place called Sean City, and it's a weird place. One, everyone's just high, but it's very culty, religious-y, culty. There's someone named Mother who can apparently talk to the dead. Never really explained why, because the place crumbles before anything can happen. But this was my first out loud oh shit moment. When the place comes crumbling down from another earthquake, there's this child that they've had that they kind of just has been there. Doesn't talk, do anything. The old man thought it was his grandson trying to kidnap him at one point. That's not what happened. The part that got me. The part that got me is Mother, I guess, who would be the father, I don't know, comes in, going to go save the child. The child finally gets up and starts talking. One, the child's voice sounds weird. Whatever. Gets up, says a few words. Piece of debris comes down and bashes him in the head and kills him. Out of nowhere. Just what should have been a nice moment is just, oh shit. It caught me by surprise. Anyways, then a lot of those followers, they stay, going down with the ship. Don't know why they do that. I guess they think they're going to die anyways. Might as well do it where they feel like they belong. So that happens. Old man also stays there and dies, blah, blah, blah. They go on. Next, they decide to go on a ship. For some reason, athletes get priority. This is supposed to take place right after the 2020 Olympics, I think, so maybe that's what is up. Of course, in real life, that did not happen. Neither one of them happened, but more likely, the world flooding is an actual possibility that could still happen. Anyways, going on. Decide not to go on a boat, go on a different boat, because they find a float of Japanese purists. They're not allowed on because they're half Filipino. And then they find a nice old dude who's just is like, hey, get on my boat. Right away, that boat is just messed up. Like, they don't get a chance to rest, except for that weird cold place. Everything else, man, there's just like, luck is terrible. So they have to flee on some rafts. The old man that was manning the boat goes in with the two kids. He got hurt during some altercation with someone wanting to get on the raft before the kids. whatever. Then he dies, which I expected, but not how I thought. Ayumu wakes up to see him leaning out over the boat, completely just covered in seagulls, just peg him apart. She shoots him away and he's literally just bones. And it was like, damn. And not even that, seagulls go away, shark comes up and just snatches him away. The more I try to explain this, it just sounds ridiculous. It sounds like it's goofy, but it's so serious. And it gets more depressing as it goes. And it's just like, what is going on? And I don't know if I should laugh or just be shocked by the things that happen. Eventually, Ayumu and Go meet up with their mom, whose name is Mari, and Haruki, the track star. Then this is the next thing that gets sad is, dang, I'm laughing. They find a boat, and a motorboat, but it's like tied off, caught up in something. Mari goes down to untangle it, ends up drowning herself. This was the first time I was like, this was unnecessary. Now, maybe she did it because she felt like she was going to die anyway. She was having trouble, health problems anyways. So, maybe that's why it was justified that they kill her off like this. But yeah, she just drowns herself. She gets back up. She's able to swim back up, kind of. And they're just not able to bring her back. I don't know. And it's kind of just a lame way to go. It seemed unnecessary. But what can you do? Go on later. They're able to meet up with Kai and another old, like, paralyzed dude. I think his name was Takodera, something like that. Anyways, he's the one who is he's pretty much is able to tell when earthquakes are going to happen, and he was a scientist getting all this information. Kite has been with him. They meet up. They found some kind of tank or something. Go to some lab to get more information, upload more information they got. Take away the, I don't know, chip, I don't know, computers, like some kind of memory thing from the computer. They go back out, barely survive. The old scientist dude almost drowns. For some reason able to bring him back, whatever. But in the process, the chip gets swept out in the water a little bit. So Haruki, yeah, it's like, I can go and run and grab that. And it's like, okay. He runs out, he grabs it, runs back, tosses it to them. And I'm like, oh, he's gonna get hit by a wave. Gets hit by a wave. That was the most disappointing one. If anything, if there was any hope in this series, in this show, at least him being able to swim and get back would have been one of them. But no, he's never seen again. And then the next thing to happen is they're able to kind of pinpoint the next area. Land is going to come back up because at this point everything is pretty much drowned. Kite finds a balloon. I guess random hope doesn't make sense anymore. Why they can find a balloon but not a person. Okay. He uses it to go flop in the air, get a signal that could bring help to him. It works, but he flies off, starts looking like he's freezing. But it saves the two kids and the old scientist dude. Takes them to Russia. That's pretty much it. That's how it kind of ends. It skips ahead 8 years later. Through that you learn that another island appeared 2 years later from where they left off. Go is esports Olympian now. I forgot to mention this. Ayumi cuts her leg at the beginning. The whole time I'm wondering, is nobody going to even bother to take care of this? They don't do anything. They don't cover it. They don't try to sanitize or anything. She has to get it cut off, so she ends up in the Paralympics, I think they're called. Yeah. That's what happens. And the old dude, he looks like he's doing fine. It looks like Kite survived somehow. They didn't actually show him. They show him in a video, but they also showed like some guy that could look like him with part of his face covered at the Olympics. Okay. This is the weirdest part. The whole moral of the story, at the very end, after all this happens, it seems like the moral of the story is technology will surpass and persevere through all of this. Yeah. That's it. I mean, that was kind of the thing. It's like, technology will survive. I don't know. No, I didn't realize it until the end, but when you go back and look at it, they're always on their phones. One, don't know how they stay charged. They're always going back and watching videos of themselves, or the Ghost gang that he always has with him, or photographs that Mari takes. There's this big thing about technology will survive. Just seemed like a random thing, a random moral to end with, but hey, whatever. Sure, I can believe it. And that's the end. That's it. It was chill, it was brutal, and then it was just ended on that weird, confusing note. But what do you think? Have you watched it yet? Do you agree with what I think? I enjoyed it. It's just I didn't know what to think of it. Let me know what you thought of it, though. And if you like what I have to say about it, go ahead and like this video. You want to see me talk more about anime and whatever otaku related, go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you see what I do all that. But until next time, I'm the AC. Thank you for watching, and bye.